All right, guys, what movie is this from? You're killing me, Smalls. Sandlot. Roxanne, you have got to go watch this movie. The Sandlot is like the quintessential summer kid movie. It is a great, great, great movie. The premise is Scotty Smalls moves, it's 1962, I think, and he moves to a new town. He doesn't know anybody. He's trying to make some friends and have some fun over the summer. But he's kind of a scrawny kid. So he sees some boys his age playing baseball, and he shows up. He's like, hey guys, I want to play baseball. And they look at him and they're like, you can't play baseball. But fortunately, they only have 8 and they need 9. And so like, all right, fine, we'll let him play. Put him way out. I think they put him in right field. Put him way out there where he can't, mess anything up. And on the team is Benny the Jet Rodriguez, who is like the hometown baseball hero that everybody loves, and he's amazing, and all the boys think he's awesome. And so the summer progresses, and they're having a great time, and every day they go to the Sandlot. That's the name of the movie. They go to the Sandlot to play baseball. And they're having a great time until one day Benny the Jet hits the ball so hard that the outer skin comes off of it. The leather part comes off of the ball. And they're like, yeah! They're like celebrating because it's amazing. How could he hit the ball so hard that he could knock the skin off? And they're so excited. And they're like, oh, man, now we don't have a ball to play with. And so they're all standing around going, how are we going to get a new baseball? So they're like digging in their pocket. I got like 3 cents and a safety pin. Like, what do you got? And they're trying to figure out how they're going to get a new baseball. Well, Smalls sees his chance because he's always the one they're like, you're killing me, Smalls. Every time he does something wrong, like they're like, oh. So he's like, there's a baseball at my house. My stepdad keeps a baseball in his study. So he runs home and he gets this baseball out of his stepdad's study. And he comes back and they start playing with the ball and they're having a good time. And Scotty Smalls steps up to bat and he hits a home run. Ah! And it's so exciting, except he hits the ball into the backyard of mean Mr. Myrtle, who has a hulking beast of a dog. And they're like, oh man, we lost our ball. And Smalls is like my stepdad loves that ball. Like, it is really special to him. And he's like, I don't understand. It's got some lady's name on it. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, some lady named Baby Ruth's name is on it. And all the kids are like, what? We've been playing with the baseball that's signed by the Sultan of Swat, the great Bambino. And it was like a home run. One of his, 471, 741, however many home runs he had. It was one of those balls signed by the great Babe Ruth. And they're like, we can't believe we just played with a baseball that was hit by Babe Ruth. Like, how could you bring that ball to? And he's like, I don't know. I knew it was special, but I figured we'd just put it back. So then the rest of the movie is the boys doing all the things that they can to try to get this ball back, because mean Mr. Myrtle has a bull mastiff, one of those giant slobbery dogs, and the kids call him the monster, and they're terrified of the dog. And so they're trying to construct all these like gadgets to get the thing, and the monster eats it up. And it's a great movie. But this movie shows us how Babe Ruth's ball was not a ball you play Sandlot baseball with, right? You don't take a signed Babe Ruth baseball to play Sandlot baseball with. That ball should be put in a glass case and on a shelf, never to be touched again. That is a special, in the baseball world, that's a holy ball. It is a special ball that should not be messed with. And Smalls doesn't get this because he doesn't understand baseball, but the rest of the boys do. That ball is special and set apart. It is a holy ball. And so when I was thinking about the concept of holiness, and that story came to mind, I was like, yes, it's set apart. So then I was like, what does that word holy mean? So I want to take some time in the next few weeks and look at what does the word holy mean. And so I went to Webster's, dictionary. And according to Merriam-Webster, it can mean exalted or worthy of complete devotion as one perfect in goodness and righteousness. Holy can mean divine. It can mean devoted entirely to the deity or to the work of the deity. It can mean having a divine quality, or it can mean venerated as if sacred, Or it can be used as an intensive, like he was a holy terror. Like I'm like, holy Toledo, like, oh, okay? But it can mean all these things, but they all kind of go the same, like something super special, something really special, something set apart, something that you don't play Sandlot baseball with, like the good china. And so I started looking in the Bible about where do we see this word holy, and what does the Bible say about the word holy. And so if you go to Bible Gateway, which is where I usually copy paste all this stuff, and you type in a word, it gives you like where all it's mentioned in the Bible. And it's mentioned a ton in the Old Testament. So I started looking through when it was first used in the Bible. And it's first used, the first one I saw was when Moses is he's just hanging out. This is before he goes and sets the people free. He's just hanging out on a mountain tending his sheep, and he sees this bush burning. And so he goes up to see what's going on. Why is this bush burning but not burning up? And he hears this voice that says, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you're standing is holy ground." The place where God was in that bush speaking to Moses. So wherever God was, this fire and smoke and flames we're seeing here, it was such a holy place that Moses had to take his shoes off. So this is the first place where we really see God say, like, where I am is special. And you come here with special intent and special purpose. Right? This is the scene where God tells Moses to go set his people free. And Moses is like, I can't do that. I'm not a leader. And God's like, go do it anyways. He's like, okay. So then Moses goes and he sets the people free, and we have the whole Israelites being freed and the plagues and all that stuff. So now they're out in the wilderness. They're out in the desert. And God's using this time to reprogram his people, because he has decided they are his people. Back when he went first to Abraham, he's decided, these are my people, and I'm going to separate them from the other people. I'm going to get them away from everyone else, and I'm going to train them and show them that they're special. They're a holy people. They're set apart. And so he's in the wilderness. He's trying to train them. What is this concept of holiness? Like, what does this really mean? So Moses is going to go up on the mountain and talk to God. And he's kind of going back and forth between the people and God. And God is living, like kind of residing, resting on this mountain in this point in the story. And so God is trying to show the people, like, because I'm here on this whole mountain, this mountain is holy. And so this is a long one, guys. Bear with me, but it's good. In Exodus 19, it says, Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain and said, this is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, and what you are to tell the people of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did in Egypt, how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all the nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. And these are the words you are to speak to the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Have them wash their clothes and be ready by the third day, because on that day the Lord will come down from Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Put limits for the people around the mountain and tell them to be careful. Do not approach the mountain or touch the foot of it. Whoever even touches the mountain will be put to death. They are to be stoned or shot with arrows. Not a hand is to be laid on them. No person or animal shall be permitted to live. Only when the ram's horn sounds a long blast may they approach the mountain. And after Moses had gone down from the mountain to the people, he consecrated them. They washed their clothes, and he said to them, prepare yourselves for the third day. Abstain from sexual relations. And on the morning of the third day there was thunder and lightning, and with a thick cloud over the mountain, a very loud trumpet blast, everyone in the camp trembled. And then Moses led the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke, because the Lord had descended on it like fire. The smoke billowed up from it like smoke from a furnace, and the whole mountain trembled violently. As the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and the voice of God answered him. Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come on Mount Sinai because you yourself have warned us to put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy. So the mountain has basically become a giant burning bush. We've got smoke and fire, and they're not supposed to come too close. It's holy. Like if they came up on the mountain, they would die, or they were to be killed, because it's so holy, so set apart that it was not to be touched, not to be messed with, because the presence of God was there. This is a chance for the Lord to show the people, like, this is a big deal. Wherever I am, it's a big deal, because I am holy, and you will be holy. And this mountain is holy because I am here on this mountain right now. So this is the part of the story where the 10 Commandments were given out to the people, which were holy commandments. So Moses goes up on the mountain, he comes down, they have the whole golden calf, debacle, And so they spend the next 40 years, God is resetting them. He's saying, like, I am holy and you are holy, and this is what it means. This is what it means to look like me. This is what it means to be set apart. You're not like everybody else. When you believe in me, when you are my people, you're not like everybody else. You are special. And then throughout their time in the wilderness, the Lord went before them. Like for that 40 years, there was this pillar of smoke by day and fire by night when they were moving. So with the burning bush, smoke and fire, the mountain, smoke and fire and trembling. And then as they move, everywhere they went, smoke and fire. They followed it. And when God wanted them to rest, he'd stop and they would erect this tent. And in the tent, they had this Holy of Holies. They had the Ark of the Covenant in there, and they would keep the Ark in there. And basically only Moses was allowed to go in there. It was such a special place. They felt that that's where the Lord lived. And not anybody could go into that place. Just the leader, just Moses could go in there. Because it was so special and so holy to them. And the Ark of the Covenant was so special and so holy, they believed that wherever it went, there was victory. And it was so holy and so special that if you touched it, you died. Like it had these rings on it that you put like sticks, that's how they carried it. It had like rings and you put these like poles through it and then they lift it, like a leader. And then there's a story where they're carrying the Ark and then someone trips or it gets like unseated and it starts to fall and a guy reaches up to like catch it and he dies instantly because he touches it. Like the Ark was so holy that even just touching it killed somebody. The only way they could move it was to put poles through these holes and lift it up with the poles so that no human actually touched the Ark. And this was God's way of saying, this thing is so set apart, so special, so holy, that if you touch it, if you mess with it, you're going to die. Okay, so I want us to think about what does it mean to be holy? Like even once Solomon built the temple, they kept the Ark of the Covenant in there, and only the high priest could go in there. You could go in the temple, but in the like back of the temple there was a holy place, and in the very back there was like the Holy of Holies, which was the place where they kept the Ark. I was reading a story that said even if someone needed to once the temple was built, if they needed to fix something like maintain the walls or whatever, they would lower the guy down on rope, and he was not allowed to look at the Ark. He could only look at the section of wall that he was there to repair. Like that's how holy it was, that he couldn't walk in to fix it because he was on holy ground. He wasn't allowed to touch it. They had to lower him on ropes. Holiness means it's special. It means it's where God lives. And so I don't have homework for you this week except for to think about what is your idea of holiness. Like when we come to church, this is a holy place because it's where we come to meet God. And I feel like in America, we've kind of lost a sense of what it means to be holy. It used to be and even yesterday, I was talking to Jared, one of the guys who helped us out yesterday, and he was talking, and he starts to say a cuss word. He's like, oh, sorry, I'm in a holy place. And I thought it was so cute that this kid who doesn't really understand much about the Lord understands enough to know that I shouldn't cuss when I'm here. It used to be people when I go to New Orleans, I go to a Southern Baptist church, when I was there for mission trips. These people come every Sunday. I'm talking 3-piece suits, Dresses, heels, hats, like they are decked out. And I'm not knocking, like I am very grateful that we are a place that people come in their pajamas and feel safe. Like I see both sides of that. Like, yes, this is a holy place and we should come to the Lord like our best, our Sunday best, but also we should be able to come to the Lord in our pajamas if that's the best we can do right now. You know, I love that we're both, but this is a holy place. Wherever we meet with the Lord, that's a holy place. And whenever we're talking to the Lord, we're in the presence of a holy deity, something that's set apart. You know, like the Babe Ruth ball that you don't play Sandlot baseball with, right? We are the Babe Ruth ball that you can play baseball. You could play baseball with it, but we should be set apart. The Lord is set apart. He is a holy, holy God, and he is with us always, which I love about the Lord. And all of God's people said, amen. All right, if you have not